Check. Hey, what's going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where today we're talking about referrals. How to be able to solicit referrals, how to build a network of advocates for you that send you referrals, because ultimately you could build a referral generating machine that ultimately just creates so much business that you don't even have to advertise. Now, you might still want to advertise to really even blow up your business even more, but there's agents out there that don't advertise at all that thrive just on referrals. And there's just a couple simple principles and practices you need to implement to have a successful referral business. So that's what we're talking about today on this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christmas. Stick with us. We got a great show for you.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christmas. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is referrals. And now, one thing with referrals, one way for you to potentially make money off of referrals is to refer your clients to other agents, or your potential clients to other agents. So maybe this is a house that you sold here in Tampa. Let's say you're an agent here in Tampa. You help somebody sell their house because they're relocating to, let's say, Texas. Well, then you could find a competent, qualified agent in Texas that you could send them to that could assist them in the sale and purchasing a new property in Texas. You could earn a referral fee that way. And that's one side of referrals. But what I really want to focus on today is your past clients. Say that couple that you helped sell the home here, and even if they did move to another state, about maintaining that relationship with them, about maintaining your network of past clients as well as future clients. And really, these become one and the same over time. Your past clients will be your future clients if you maintain the relationship with your past clients. And your future clients will become past clients if you maintain the relationship with your future clients. So really, referrals are all about relationships. It's relationships you have with your clients, so that way you could either serve them or you could refer them to another agent who can serve them. So primarily, your number one objective for relationships is with clients. Because if you don't have clients, you don't have much of a business. You need clients to have a strong real estate business, or really any real estate business. You don't have any clients, you really don't have much of a business at all, because who are you selling to? What deals are you brokering if you don't have people buying and selling? So yeah, absolutely, you need clients, otherwise you don't have a business. But not just having a client, but having a relationship with your clients to where it goes beyond just the transaction. You're not just there for the transaction, you're there for them really to start just for anything real estate related. That you're their go-to resource for anything they might need to understand about real estate, or something they're concerned with about their real estate, or maybe they're considering their next piece of real estate. If you maintain the relationship with these past clients, again, they will become future clients. There will be future sales to be had from your past clients if you maintain the relationship. A couple statistics to throw on along with that is every 5 to 7 years is the average time frame somebody sells their current property to move to a new one. So 5 to 7 years, they're going to be a future client again. But in that whole time, that meantime there, you have also where you want to build relationships with your client's sphere of influence. So there's that whole concept of the sphere of influence. That's everybody it is that you're around. But if you just rely on your sphere of influence alone, you're extremely limiting yourself, because every single client any previous clients as well as future clients, they all have their own spheres of influence. They all have their own networks and connections. And if you really want to exponentially grow your real estate business, you're not going to just focus on maintaining your sphere of influence, but expanding your sphere of influence into your client's sphere of influence. This means that getting referrals from your past clients, but also your future clients. Now, with future clients, it becomes a little bit more difficult because they might not trust you as much yet because maybe they have not transacted with you yet. But even if they haven't transacted with you, there's still massive opportunity to create value for them, to build the relationship. Because remember, if you want to get referrals, you have to first have the relationships. So if you want to get referrals from your clients, you have to establish a relationship with your client. And this is the whole point of, again, establishing that relationship that goes beyond the transaction. Because if you're just there for the transaction, yeah, you might provide a great service to them. But there's probably a lot more value you can provide to them. Even just being a resource of somebody they could almost go to for any question they have about real estate. And yeah, you might not always have all the answers to everything they're asking. But it's nice when somebody thinks of you and thinks that you're the expert and says, hey, I've got blah, 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 blah going on. What do you think I should do? And a lot of times, if I'll get this question, I'm like, well, that's not my area of expertise, but here's who you do need to contact. And that's blah, 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 blah. And you're at least pointing them in the right direction. And then they might look to you just as, hey, do you have somebody you could recommend that's a good plumber? Or do you have somebody you could recommend that's this or that? So now not only that, you have relationships with other, let's say, vendors. Because there's going to be all these different vendors it is that you're going to be working with. Now, when these are real estate specific vendors like a mortgage loan originator or an appraiser or an inspector or whatever the case may be, somebody that deals almost exclusively with real estate agents, they've got a lot of real estate agents they know, so you'd have to have a really strong relationship with that vendor to be able to use them as a source of leads. Now, that's absolutely possible, but this is going to be where you have maybe fewer people that you have relationship with. The clients, you want to have as many clients as possible. The more clients you have, the more money it is you can make because it's more people you can serve and help and assist. And so in this free market we live in, that allows us to make money. We create value. People will pay us for that value. So we want to constantly be expanding our relationships with clients, our base of clients and our relationships with them. We want to constantly expand that. And vendors, that would be good to expand as well. But again, with clients, this is just going to be people they know that may or may not need real estate services right now. Whereas these vendors are going to have people coming to them, thinking about buying a home, so they maybe want to check their mortgage rates. Usually it's the other way around, but it still happens where people go to a loan originator first or a mortgage broker first, just maybe because they know them or they know that that's a good first step to do. That is what they should do, not necessarily what they will do, but whatever the case may be, there are loan originators that do end up with people that need a real estate agent. The inspectors, maybe not an appraiser, or maybe there is. Maybe a lot of agents are overlooking these inspectors and appraisers and other ancillary services of real estate because they're like, well, people aren't going to an inspector, people aren't going to an appraiser. Yeah, but maybe they still know somebody. Maybe it's not one of their clients because their clients are all the other realtors and other buyers and sellers, so there's no really in for us there, but maybe they just know somebody and they just want a relationship with somebody that they trust that they could refer them with. This is what it comes down to for any referrals, whether this is clients, vendors, or the third one I would say on the list would be other agents. Because this one you really need to worry about the least, I would say. And it's funny because I'll see a lot of agents that thrive on other agent networking events and they love going to those things. And yeah, they can be fun, but is it something really growing your business? Do you really need relationships with other agents? Maybe if you have a real estate brokerage, then yes. Maybe if you have a real estate team that you want to recruit some people to, then absolutely yes, you'd maybe want to build your network of other agents it is that you have relationships with. But if you're just trying to buy and sell real estate and help people buy and sell real estate, you need to focus, number one, on getting more relationships with your clients. And not just getting more clients and having deeper relationships with them, but being able to expand your sphere of influence into theirs. Delivering such a great experience to your clients that they almost are compelled to say, hey, I've got a friend that needs to buy a house. I want you to help them because you're so knowledgeable, you're so much of a great realtor, blah, blah, all the other good things they might say about you. And when you do really provide a lot of value to your clients and you really do genuinely care about your clients, you will get clients becoming advocates for you, where they're like, hey, I want my friend to use you. How do I make sure that they're using you? How do I make sure that should I tell them to call you? What should I do? And now you're basically directing them how to send their sphere of influence to you. Now, this all starts with you providing, again, an exceptional experience to your clients. And that doesn't mean a perfect experience, because very rarely does a real estate transaction go perfectly. There's almost always some unexpected surprise, whether it's a small surprise or a major surprise, but there's always little things that tend to pop up, imperfections in what it is that we do, and it's going to happen. It's extremely rare that you have a transaction that just goes flawlessly. They do happen, but most of the time there's something that pops up, some sort of issue that needs to be handled, and this is where we take control of handling that in the best of the way possible, presenting as many options as possible so that way they don't feel like they're stuck and they have to do this thing, that they see that they have options and that it's going to be okay, and that you're reassuring them that blah, 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 that we could still go through this and everything that could happen, and giving them as much information as possible. Even when things go bad, they'll appreciate what it is that you do, because they'll know, in the moment, you might be associated with the problem, but then as time begins to go by, that they'll realize that, our agent was doing everything it is that he could or she could. And they'll value for seeing that effort in the end of what you had to do to really step your game up to be able to take control of whatever that issue that popped up. So it's all part of providing a great experience to your clients, and hopefully you don't have issues pop up, but even when you do, the way you handle those is going to be indicative of what they think of you after the transaction is over. And what they're thinking of you after the transaction is over is going to be most important, because at that point, that's where they're thinking about if they want to ever use you again or if they want to push you out of their life. If they're really unhappy with you, they're going to push you out of their life. They're not going to want anything to do with you further. They're not going to want to hear from you further, and they're going to push you out of their life. If they're not pushing you out of their life, then they're at least somewhat satisfied with the service it is that you provided them. And even if they're only somewhat satisfied with the service it is you provide them, your follow-up and what you do after the sale to make sure that they're enjoying the house, how they're doing, what it is that, and again, maybe any additional advice it is you could provide even after the sale, this is going to provide some closure to them. And you staying in contact with them, again, this is the because what happens when you have a great relationship with somebody and then the sale happens and then all of a sudden that relationship goes away? What is the perception of that client when you were super great and amazing during the sale, but as soon as the sale was over, you disappear? Well, the perception they're going to have of you is that, oh, he was only there for the sale. He was only there for the money. That's all he cared about. Whereas when, after we get paid, after the closing, after all the dust settles, that we're still there for them, we're still there to support them, that we're not just their realtor for this transaction, we're their realtor for life. Feel free to use that phrase, although don't use the term realtor unless you've paid your dues to the Association of Realtors, otherwise they'll come get you. That you're their professional for life, that you're their expert for life, not just this one transaction. Too often real estate agents think of what we do on a transactional basis. That, okay, I've got to get this deal done. I've got to get that deal done. Because yes, that is what gets us paid. And yes, that's an important part of what we do, is getting deals done. Because if we didn't get any deals done, well, then we're not helping anybody. We're just wasting people's time. So yes, it's our job to get deals done. But then what happens after the deal, not only is it great for the clients, but it's amazing for what it could do for your business, because this is part of you building your army of advocates for your brand. That's what having relationships with your clients will do. It'll build an army of people advocating for you. This starts with getting them to believe in you and to buy into you. and being somebody that they look up to. So you've got to live up to that expectation. They have to look up to you, not in all aspects of life, but at least in real estate. They have to at least see you as having superior knowledge to them in real estate. And that doesn't mean that you're condescending to them. That doesn't mean that you're negative or just, you're out of touch with reality because they're just common people that don't know real estate. No, that you have an extreme wealth of knowledge about real estate and you're able to communicate it in everyday words and language that everyone is comfortable with and everybody understands. So that's part of having, and not only just having that knowledge, but having the willingness to do what it takes to get things done. Because that's definitely appreciated. Or whatever it is that you do to define your best business, your best value you could provide to your clients, that you're doing that. That you're being the best it is you could be for them, because that alone is going to make people want to refer business to you. All you have to do is tell them how. All you've got to do is give them instructions on how to do it, if you provide that great experience with them. And it's already going to be assumed that, oh yeah, I'm going to want to send people to you. You're phenomenal. You're amazing. You're great. That's the type of relationship it is that you want to develop. And look, closing might happen and things might not have gone the correct way and everything like that. But as, they get settled into their new house, they get settled into basically their new life. Because when somebody moves, when somebody changes the place where they rest their head at night permanently, where they share meals with their family, they change that permanently, that's a new chapter in their life. And, that could be scary at first, which is why it's important for us to stick around for a little bit, to stay in touch with them. Not just for a couple weeks after the sale, but for years after the sale. Not only because it's going to help reassure our client that we're there for them, that we're not just there for the transaction, that we're there for them for life, but it's also going to reassure them that we're interested in them, that we still want to help them, that we still want to do what we can do to help them. And then they're going to want to reciprocate that help. They're going to want to say, hey, look, we need to sell. Of course, we're going to use you. We're not even going to interview any other agents because we want to use you. Wouldn't that be fantastic? You just have somebody that says, hey, look, I'm not interested in anybody else because I want you. And I don't really care how much cost, don't charge me too much, but I want to use you, and I know your value, and I know you care. When you could develop a client base like that, then when it comes time again for them to, again, sell their homes, and in 5 to 7 years or whenever it happens for them, when they turn around and they're like, hey, I need to sell, you're going to be so accomplished with all of that follow-up that you've been doing. You'll be doing it. You'll be following up. You might be sending a letter, making a phone call, sending a text message or whatever. And when you first start doing this, when you start following up with past clients, you might be skeptical if this is worth your time, especially when you're first starting out, because when you're new to anything, it takes longer than when you become more experienced at it. So when you're brand new to follow-up, it's going to seem if you're doing it right, if this is even worth your time, if any of these people even still remember who you are. But as you start to do it more and as you start to see the results, the fruits of your labor, not just in repeat transactions from your past clients, but also from referrals that you do this enough. And I'm not recommending this, but you do this enough where you maintain enough of a relationship with them and they still remember that you're the real estate expert as well. Then they will say, hey, look, I've got so-and-so that needs to sell. Do you want me to send you their info? Do you want me to send them, or whatever? They'll ask something like that. That's even if you're not asking for the referrals, just by being there, just by showing up for them. That's all you've got to do. At a minimum, just show up for your clients. Your past clients as well as your future clients. A lot of agents get discouraged when they meet somebody that they go to they maybe go find their dream home and they go to get a pre-approval from a lender, and then turns out they've got terrible credit and they wouldn't qualify for any type of financing, let alone a mortgage loan. And a lot of agents will just kind of, say, oh, that's all right, you can change your credit, maybe you might even refer them to somebody else. You might say, hey, go talk to this credit repair specialist and they should be able to get you in shape. And once you got your credit fixed, come find me. If you don't want to help them now when their credit's not good, why would they want you to help them when they are capable of buying? And so that's how that's going to resonate with them. And even though you didn't have any immediate means to make money off of them, if all you did is show them a couple of houses and then they couldn't qualify for the financing, you might have invested 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of time with these clients. And now you might be looking at this and saying, oh, I'm just going to cut my losses and hopefully they come back. Well, if that's the way you treat this and handle this, they're not coming back. They might. They very well could. But they probably won't, because somebody else is probably going to step in and provide them that nurturing that they need, that information that they need about real estate, even if it's just pushing them to keep going. Part of that is, they want to buy a home. And it's not like, oh, well, you can't afford it, so I don't want to show you any more homes. No, look, you guys are going to get there. How are they going to believe in themselves if you don't believe in them? And if they do believe in themselves and you don't believe in them, then they're not going to believe in you. So you've got to believe in them. You've got to believe in their capabilities. Now, absolutely, you've got to keep in mind prioritization of your schedule and your time, because obviously this client, you're still not going to maybe be showing homes actively like they are ready to buy right now, but you're going to be doing everything you can to still maintain that relationship as best as possible. And that might still mean taking them out for a showing every now and then. Yeah, our time is valuable, but especially if this client is going to be ending up to be tens of thousands of dollars in commission, once they do get a transaction, then it's all going to be worth it in the end. That's the thing you've got to keep in mind. You've got to keep your eye on that end goal, on that prize. And every single person, they're not just worth one transaction. You've got to think of the lifetime value of your clients. Not the present value, the lifetime value. How much are they worth to you over their lifetime? Because if you're only focused on the transaction, if you're only focused on getting that one deal done, then you're constantly looking for new clients. You're always trying to find new leads. Hey, I need new leads. I need leads because I got to find somebody new to sell a house to or help them sell their house. Whereas when you build up a base of past clients, and yes, they will be repeat business, but many years in the future. So in the meantime, you're trying to tap into their sphere of influence to be able to find who it is that they know, where they trust you enough to endorse you to their sphere of influence. That's what you need to get to. And that's why it's not how many deals can you get done, it's how big can you grow your network. How many clients or potential clients can you amass around you that are ready to do business now, or maybe not going to do business for 5 years, but how do we keep them around us? How do we keep their attention? How do we keep them thinking that we're the expert and the professional in real estate, so that way they look up to us to serve their real estate needs, to help them through the real estate process? You've got to first be the advocate for your brand, and then you're going to be able to get other people to also be an advocate for your brand. And that's all about building the relationships. And like I said, the main key relationships you should be focusing on, number one, every day, all day, is with clients. Clients and building your network of clients larger. And again, that could just mean future clients, meaning people you haven't done any business with, but you will do business with, because you're going to follow up and stay in touch with them as long as you need to. You do that, and you're going to build a large base of business where you could avoid advertising altogether, or maybe you want to really throw fuel on the fire and add advertising to the mix as well and really grow a monster, massive real estate sales machine. But there's nothing more powerful than an endorsement of a past client. If somebody that trusts this client and this client trusts you, they could transfer some of that trust to their sphere of influence. If they trust you, then the people that trust them, they could transfer some of that trust that you've built with that client to these other people. It's not going to be as strong as the trust your client has with you, but that's what you've got to get to first. You got to build the trust with your client, build the reputation with your client, so that way they could transfer it to their sphere of influence, to the people that they have trust with, that they have a reputation with. And then they're able to relay and transfer that, and that's how you facilitate this arrangement where you get people to send you referrals. But first, you've got to provide extreme immense value, and you can't forget about them. You've got to stay in touch with them. So again, don't think about your clients as a current value. Think of them as the lifetime value. Think of, and look, it's okay to put numbers on these things. Numbers are what drive our business one way or the other. And which way do you want to be driving your business? Because if you don't look at the numbers, if you don't do the math, you're driving with a blindfold on. Is that going to be safe? Go 80 miles an hour down the highway with a blindfold on? No, if you try to drive a car with a blindfold on, you're going to be going 5 miles an hour because you're going to be terrified there's going to hit something. So you've got to look at the numbers to know what this all equates to and what this means, to give this actual meaning and to understand it better and understand what levels of actions you have to take to be able to take your business to where you want it to go. So you've got to know, okay, this client, not how many transactions are they just worth, but how many referrals are they worth, and how many transactions are each of those referrals worth, and the referrals that generate those referrals that generate more referrals. And this keeps going deeper and deeper, where a single client might be worth 7 or 8 transactions just from themselves, and then who else it is they could refer to you. So now, rather than it just being one $10,000 transaction, it's 8 $10,000 transactions, and that's $80,000 as opposed to 10,000. But that's where you've got to think to this bigger scale so you can realize that those opportunities exist. So look, that's about all the time we've got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Focus on building the network. Don't try to go at this from the transactional basis. Don't try to go in there saying, hey, I could help you buy and sell real estate. No. They're not going to connect with you on the fact that you can help them buy and sell real estate. Very rarely, very often will you have somebody, or very rarely, very unoften will you find somebody that just says something like, when you say, oh, I can buy and sell real estate, and they say, oh, matter of fact, I need to buy real estate. That happens every now and then. So maybe 1 out of 100, maybe 1 out of 1,000, that line will work. I can help you buy and sell real estate. But if you want to tap into the other 99% of the people that need real estate services at some point, but not right at that moment that you ask them, you need to first start on building the relationship. And this is just little things about just even introducing yourself to people that you meet at, whether it's PTA meetings or clubs that you're in or at your kids' sports events or whatever the case may be. Just meeting people and establishing relationships with them, and at some point they're going to ask you what you do. And at that point, that's the appropriate time to say, oh yeah, I do real estate. And then as that gets out there, then they might ask you questions about real estate. You might start a discussion about real estate. But notice how that happens organically as opposed to if you try to force it. Yes, if you force it, you bring up the topic of real estate quicker, but it's a lot less likely to actually turn into a larger conversation. And so that's really, building relationships, it's not easy. It's something you have to intentionally do and intentionally put effort to do. And not just to build the relationship, but also to maintain the relationship. It takes constant effort. And if you're not putting constant effort in, then you're not going to get the relationships it is that you desire with your clients, and also, again, extending into your client's sphere of influence. So focus on building those relationships. Even if you don't have your real estate license yet, if you don't have your real estate license yet, call us, 813-333-2676. That's 813-333-2676. If you're looking to build your real estate business more, you need to take post licensing. Call us as well, 813-333-2676. You can check us out online, tampaschool.com. But look, get out there and build relationships. Even if you don't have a license yet, focus on building the relationship, because you don't need a real estate license to build relationships with people. But when you have that real estate license, those relationships will be much more valuable to you. So even if you don't have a license yet, focus on building relationships. If you're new to Tampa, these relationships don't have to be in Tampa or wherever it is that you are. If you moved to Tampa, where did you move from and why did you move there? And are there any other people that are also in that same situation that want to do what you also did? Because you might be able to help them do that. If somebody moved from Iowa to Tampa, just random place for them to move to, and you moved to Tampa, and there's tons of people moving to Florida every single day. We have a net influx. We're actually currently the fastest growing state in the country. We actually just took out Texas. Texas was the fastest growing state for a while. Now it's Florida right now, so we're the fastest growing state in the country. If you just came from Iowa to go, start a new chapter in your life here in Tampa, is there anybody else there that doesn't like Iowa either that wants to do the same thing as you? Because you would connect with those people because you're from the same place. And how many other people are there from Tampa that are also from Iowa that have a real estate license? They're actively trying to connect with the people that they know back in Iowa. Not many. So that's a huge market for you as well. Again, even if you're brand new to the area. If you're coming from another country even, that's where that process gets even more complex, and where your knowledge about going through that process is extremely valuable. So think of what relationships it is that you have and how you can invest in those relationships further, how you can develop a deeper relationship with these people so that way you're able to get them to trust you more, because when they trust you, that's when they'll trust referring your services to others. And this could just be the people it is that you know already. It could be your past clients. It could be your future clients, people you've talked to but haven't done business with yet. Invest in these relationships further, and sometimes it'll lead to a quick win, a quick listing, a quick contract on a property they want to buy. But other times it takes some investing in these relationships for some time before you're able to monetize it, until you're able to provide some valuable to them. Everybody needs a place to live, but not everybody needs a new place to live right now. So it's just a matter of being there, showing up for them, and being there when they finally do need your services. And if you could do that, if you could master that, you'll have a never-ending source of business. So look, if you need to get started with this or complete any of your continuing education or post-licensing, or maybe you want to get your broker license, again, call us 813-333-2676. Other than that, that's it for today. Make sure you tune in here on Friday for State of Real Estate. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.